Welcome to my channel. Please click like, share, and subscribe. In my research lately, I've been finding a lot of details that I really haven't heard over the years regarding Motown and different instances that happened. And I'm reading now different things, mostly by J. Randy Tabarelli, David Ritz, Tony Turner, and I really want to share them, but I just didn't know in what context I would share them. So I came up with an idea. It's called the Motown Chronicles, and the person that I'm going to start with is Diana Ross. I'm going to read a few things to you guys. I'm going to talk about them. And if you agree, if you want more, just click like and subscribe. And when I see the response, I'll keep on doing them. But I just don't want to keep it to myself because it's just so juicy. Now, mind you, I don't know if it's all 100% true. Some of it to me sounds like it could be satire. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't say that it's 100% true. So most of it is alleged. And this is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to start here. Flo. She's the quiet one, Diana had said when she introduced the Supremes during their nightclub act. But she had it all wrong. Maybe it was wishful thinking, because in life, Florence Ballard had never been one to keep quiet about much. In the 60s, Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, and Diana Ross, the Supremes, quickly became the most successful American vocal group of their day. Rising from the Brewster Projects of Detroit to the most prestigious nightclubs and concert halls in the world, they had, by 1965, racked up an enviable string of unforgettable hit records. The leading proponents of Detroit's homebred music called the Motown sound, their only logical peers in pop were the Beatles and Elvis Presley. From the start, Diana Ross had that rare star quality, stage presence, and unique singing voice that immediately set her apart from the other two. But along with her talent and ambition, there was a certain amount of ruthlessness. She was famous and her fans adored her, but she was not popular among her Motown peers, many of whom thought that Berry Gordy helped her rise at their expense. By 1967, she had become the star of the act, much to Mary and Florence's dismay. They thought that the group was what mattered, but Diana was never group-oriented. She knew early on that the Supremes were but a stepping stone on her way to the top. As far as she was concerned, if Mary and Florence couldn't figure out a way to make the group work to their advantage, that was their problem, not hers. You know, you told me you wouldn't try to stand in Diane's way if she wanted to go out on her own, Berry told Florence one afternoon at the airport in Vancouver, Canada in 1966. The group was getting ready to board a plane headed back to Detroit. Florence was surprised by Berry's statement. It had been an uneventful trip with none of the usual tantrums, and it seemed that nothing had precipitated the conversation. Yeah, that's what I said, Florence once remembered having told him. If she wants to be on her own, then that's okay with me, but I ain't leaving the group. She wants out, Berry said, ignoring her last statement, but you're making it tough on her. She told me you're making her feel guilty about it. Years later, Florence recalled, that's when I started getting pissed off. I said, look, Berry, she's grown. If she wants to walk all over people to get to the top, then that's her business. I'm not going to make her feel no better by agreeing with it. You're a millionaire, he told her. You can leave the group anytime. But I told him I ain't leaving. With that, Berry and Florence became locked in the same quarrels about her excessive drinking and weight gain, all of which ended with Florence, tears in her eyes and her voice shaking, threatening Berry once more. You'll be sorry you messed with me, Berry Gordy. she screamed loud enough for everyone in the terminal to hear. "I know a lot about you, more than you think, and don't you forget it." Then Gordy turned his back and stormed off, leaving her to tears. Diana ran after Barry with a smug look on her face. Actually, Mary Wilson was the quiet one, not Florence Ballard. Mary, content to be a Supreme at whatever cost, watched and waited to see what would happen next. But Florence shouted and made threats, claiming to have embarrassing information on Berry Gordy's business practices. She quickly became a threat to Gordy's peace of mind, to the continued success of the group, and maybe even more importantly, to Diana's future career. On stage, as off, Flo was irrepressible, and audiences loved her for it. During the act, when Diana said, "Thin is in," Flo sassed back, "But honey, fat is where it's at." When Diana sang, "Gold won't bring you happiness," during their rendition of "You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You," Flo would interrupt with, "Give me that gold and I'll do my own shopping." Flo was a crowd pleaser, and Diana and Barry couldn't very well ignore that. Though they weren't very fond of her ad-libs, they tolerated them just to keep her quiet. But Ballard's smart-aleck remarks on stage hit a lot of pain. Increasingly pushed into the background, she felt cheated. The more successful the Supremes became and the more attention Diana received, the more alienated and bitter Flo seemed. She put on weight and began to show up drunk for performances. She deluded herself into thinking that because she formed the group and chose its name, she was indispensable. She was wrong. Florence was unceremoniously dumped and quickly replaced. Soon, she found herself without money, without a career, and worse, without hope. There are people at Motown who still talk about the last time the three Supremes were seen together. It was in October 1968, over a year after Florence was fired. The scene was a party hosted by Berry at his home in Detroit, the ostentatious Gordy Manor on Boston Avenue. Mary Wilson continued being a cockeyed optimist despite all that had happened to the Supremes, believing that there should be something shared between them. What exactly, she wasn't sure. Not content to leave well enough alone, she wanted to bring the three original girls together again. She selected this Motown party at Berry's mansion to effect a reconciliation. When she asked Florence to attend the gathering as her personal guest, Flo refused. "I just don't want to see her," Flo said, referring to Diana. Mary couldn't change her mind, so she telephoned Berry's brother Fuller, who had always liked Florence. "Yeah, tell her to come," he urged Mary. "We'd all love to see her. We never had a chance to say goodbye."